The movie begins with Charlie, a rogue agent, pulling his gun on Agent Eggsy. Eggsy is not going to surrender without a battle, so he pushes Charlie inside an agency taxi that's waiting for him. The two of them attack one another inside the taxi, and neither seems to be winning. Eggsy tries to push Charlie out of the taxi and throw him onto the streets, but the latter uses his robotic hand to keep himself steady. He pulls himself back into the taxi, and Eggsy even tries to shoot him. Again, Charlie uses his robotic hand to deflect the bullets. Charlie's accomplices intervene by trying to corner the taxi with their own vehicles. Eggsy is almost thrown outside the taxi, but he makes it back inside as he fights Charlie. The driver is accidentally killed, and the taxi smashes into a steel post. Charlie is launched outside the taxi while his robotic hand detaches from his body and gets stuck inside the vehicle. Eggsy uses his driving skills and the taxi's advanced technology to move the vehicle sideways. He escapes briefly, but the bad guys are still after him, shooting at him with a mounted machine gun. Merlin tries to help him out by turning all the traffic lights green, but the attackers remain in pursuit. As a last resort, Eggsy uses the taxi's weapons to deal with them. He launches a few missiles and eliminates his enemies. Then, Merlin leads him toward a lake and tells him to drive right in. Eggsy does so, and the taxi transforms into a small submarine. Finally, Eggsy makes it safely to the Kingsman base. Merlin comments that something does not feel right. He feels Charlie didn't fight strongly enough, which is strange because Merlin himself trained him, and he didn't train him to lose. In any case, Eggsy has to leave, so he exits the base through the sewer. However, the robotic hand moves on its own, finds its way into the taxi circuit, and hacks into the entire Kingsman agency, acquiring information about the organization and its agents. In the next scene, we see a place called Poppyland, which belongs to the Golden Circle, more specifically, to its leader, a woman named Poppy Adams. She invites one of her subordinates to a meeting. The man brings a new recruit with him, and Poppy decides to test the new guy by ordering him to kill her subordinate. She instructs him to throw the man in a mincer because he didn't strictly follow her commands. The new recruit does as he's told. Poppy then turns her former subordinate into a burger and forces the new recruit to eat it. He complies once more. He doesn't really have a choice. Poppy welcomes him into the organization and gives him a golden circle tattoo on his chest. Next, Eggsy attends a meeting with the agency. Merlin briefs them and discusses Charlie. They have information that Charlie has been recruited by an evil organization, though they don't yet possess much intelligence about it. Eggsy travels to Sweden to have dinner with his girlfriend Tilda's parents, the King and Queen of Sweden. The King wants to corner Eggsy, so he asks his opinion on the financial markets of India. Tilda makes a face, wondering why anyone would know this, but Eggsy makes a smart comeback and impresses the King. Meanwhile, several missiles are launched, attacking the Kingsman Central building and the homes of several agents. Eggsy's home is also attacked, and one of his friends is killed because he was taking care of Eggsy's dog for the night. Eggsy becomes immediately aware of the attack through the glasses provided by the agency, which are interconnected to receive real-time updates. Poppy Adams reveals that she is the mastermind behind the attack. Eggsy flies home, but he can't get back in time. Suddenly, Merlin emerges from the shadows. Eggsy isn't happy to see him and even pulls a gun on the experienced agent, suspecting his absence during the missile strikes is suspicious. Merlin explains that his home address isn't registered in the Kingsman database, so the missiles didn't target him. Eggsy is unsure what to believe, but Merlin pulls the robotic hand out of his bag and explains that this piece of machinery is responsible for hacking them and leaking their information. Eggsy begins to trust him again. He's about to break down, but Merlin orders him to pull himself together. They'll do what they have to do and cry later. Since there's no one superior to Merlin left, the Doomsday Protocol must be activated. He takes Eggsy to a cover store, and they enter a secret underground passage. Merlin finds a safe, attaches an emblem to open it, then twists the number dials to unlock it completely. Inside, he finds only a bottle of whiskey, made by a distillery named Statesman. The agents have no idea what to do with the bottle, so they decide to honor their lost friends by toasting. They recall their fallen comrades one by one and drink until the bottle is almost empty. Merlin blames himself for the disaster and wants to finish the bottle, but Eggsy stops him. Just as they're about to finish it, Eggsy notices the address of the distillery, located in Kentucky. He suggests they fly to America to investigate. The two make it to Kentucky and find the distillery. Eggsy discovers that one of the gates is biometrically secured, which implies there's more going on. He uses his Kingsman watch to hack the door, and they enter the distillery. Merlin looks around for clues but only finds barrels of aging whiskey. Suddenly, a man with a shotgun finds them and demands an explanation. Eggsy tells the truth, but the man doesn't believe him and orders them to kneel. Merlin and Eggsy attack, but the man is well trained. Merlin is taken down first. Eggsy tries to use his watch to sedate the man, but he turns it against him. The Kingsman agents are knocked out and wake up tied to chairs. The man, wearing a cowboy hat, pours whiskey on them and threatens to burn them alive unless they tell the truth. They repeat their story, which he doesn't believe, so he shows them another man in a locked room. Eggsy and Merlin recognize the man as Harry, a fellow Kingsman agent presumed dead after being shot in the face. The cowboy threatens to kill Harry unless they tell the truth. Suddenly, a woman storms in and stops him. She apologizes to Eggsy and Merlin, confirming that their story checks out. These two people belong to the American intelligence agency called Statesman. The woman's code name is Ginger Ale, and the man's code name is Tequila. Tequila apologizes for his actions, explaining he was just doing his job. The Kingsman agents rush to greet Harry, but he's afraid of them. He doesn't recognize them. Ginger Ale explains that they found Harry after a shootout and used Statesman's nanotechnology to save him. Their tech stops brain damage and restores part of the tissue, but with side effects in Harry's case, memory loss. Merlin is worried, but Ginger Ale says his memory could return over time. Later, Tequila takes Eggsy to meet the boss of the Statesman agency, who promises to help and even offers their vast resources. Eggsy briefs him on the Golden Circle organization. They decide to follow a lead, Clara, Charlie's girlfriend, who may help them find Charlie. Eggsy is supposed to go with Tequila, but Tequila develops a blue rash, indicating he's used Poppy's drugs. The boss sends Tequila to a doctor and introduces another agent Whiskey to accompany Eggsy. Whiskey explains they'll use an advanced tracker inserted into Clara's body. They find Clara at a festival. Whiskey tries to seduce her but fails. Eggsy joins the conversation and connects with her. Later, Eggsy excuses himself to call Tilda and explains the mission may require him to sleep with Clara. Tilda is upset but agrees as long as he proposes to her afterward. Eggsy declines, saying it would compromise his position. Tilda hangs up. Eggsy returns to Clara's tent but plans to leave until he sees the Golden Circle tattoo on her back. Knowing she's part of the organization, he follows through with the mission and inserts the tracker. He tries to call Tilda again, but she doesn't answer. At her hotel, she tells the clerk to say she's gone. Later, Eggsy visits Harry again. He tries to trigger his memory with a heartfelt speech, but Harry doesn't remember anything. Finally, Eggsy brings him a dog and then pulls a gun on it, threatening to shoot. He reminds Harry that he once shot a dog as a test but used blanks and later adopted it. The memory rushes back. Harry recalls everything up to when he was shot. Eggsy and Harry share a heartfelt hug. The next day, Merlin gives Harry a pair of glasses with one lens darkened. Harry tries to fight a bar patron but fails. Whiskey intervenes and takes care of it. Merlin reassures Harry that his coordination will return. Suddenly, Poppy hacks all the TV channels. She reveals her drugs cause a deadly illness with a blue rash as the first symptom. She offers the antidote if the president legalizes all drugs. Hospitals are overwhelmed. The president secretly plans to let drug users die to cleanse society. The Statesman boss hears this and tells Eggsy they must act. Ginger Ale notifies them Clara is calling Charlie. They trace the call. Charlie instructs Clara to meet him in Italy for the antidote. Eggsy, Harry, and Whiskey go after them. Eggsy sneaks into the lab and grabs an antidote, but Charlie sees him. They escape via ski lift, which Charlie sabot. They flee to a cabin, but when more bad guys approach, Whiskey knocks the antidote away, destroying it. Harry suspects Whiskey is a traitor and shoots him. Eggsy saves Whiskey with nanotech, then lies to the base that Whiskey was hit in crossfire. They follow a new lead, the real antidote transporter. Meanwhile, the president imprisons all infected users. Merlin hacks the transporter's device and finds Poppy's location. Tilda accidentally calls Eggsy hey, sees she's infected and worsening. Eggsy rushes to face Poppy. Merlin and Harry follow. As they approach, Eggsy steps on a mine. Merlin saves him by taking his place. He lures guards with a song, "Country Roads," then releases the mine, sacrificing himself. Eggsy and Harry storm the base, using bulletproof umbrellas and briefcase weapons. They find Poppy, who activates a robotic dog. Harry fights it until Elton John distracts the robot. Harry destroys it with a bowling ball. Meanwhile, Eggsy fights Charlie. Charlie's robotic arm gives him the advantage until Eggsy hacks it. He humiliates Charlie and finishes him. The agents find Poppy and ask for the antidote password. She refuses, so they inject her with her own drug. She overdoses and dies, muttering, "Viva la vegan!" Harry tries the password. Whiskey reappears. She supports the president's plan and tries to stop them. After a fight, the agents defeat him and drop him into the mincer. Eggsy types the password and releases the antidote worldwide. Eggsy saves the world again. Tilda and the infected are cured. Both agencies celebrate. Ginger ale becomes the new whiskey, and tequila joins the Kingsman in Britain. Comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification to notify you when we post another recap. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next recap.